Good evening, Tony Grano.
How you doing?
How are you?
Good, doing good.
Thank you so much for talking to Bayloric TV.
Anytime.
I need to know a little bit more about Tony Grano because I know you've been in some exciting fights. A lot of the UK fans don't know who you are, apart from the fact that they heard at some point you were rumoured to fight Tyson Fury. So tell us more about who Tony Grano is.
Oh, I'm a contender is who I am, and I'm working my way up the ranks, trying to get in the position to get a title shot with whoever's going to be holding the title at that time. When the Klitschko's or Povetkin or whoever it is. I got a fight this Saturday. I've been training hard for, getting ready to take out Eric Molina, and he's a decent boxer. Has a decent right hand, so training hard to get ready for that, and I'll be ready Saturday night for sure.
So tell us your record.
I'm 19-2 with 16 knockouts. I was a U.S. national champion. I was the #1 heavyweight in the United States of America. I was on the U.S. Olympic team in '05, represented them for a year, and then I decided to turn professional. I started boxing late in my career. I started when I was about 20 years old, and first year I won the state championships, and I started to win a lot of prestigious tournaments, Golden Gloves, things like that, and then the regionals, and then decided to try out for the Olympics, and I made the team. I won the U.S. Nationals, and there was nowhere else to go but to the Olympics, and that was in 3 years. And I didn't. My age, I was 25, so time wasn't really on my side. So I had to make a decision. If I was gonna make this a career, I would have to. I needed to turn pro. So I turned professional in November of 2005, and building my record up. And I'm currently ranked 7 right now in the WBC. I was at no, I was ranked 5th. I dropped a couple spots because I was a little inactive. We were trying to get some fights, and they weren't coming through. So I need to defend my title, and that's what I'm doing this Saturday with Eric Molina. So after I take him out, I believe I'll move back up a couple spots and put myself in a good position for, someone in the top 5.
Now, usually when you do boxing interviews, you get asked the same questions over and over and over again. Oh, what sort of shape are you in? Yeah, I'm in the best shape of my life. I've never been in better shape. Blah 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 blah. I try to avoid asking those sort of questions and try and find out more about the fighter. So I want to go back to the point when you were an unbeaten fighter, going through the ranks, knocking everybody out. What was going through your mind when this was going on?
I had a good record, and we wanted to take tougher and tougher opponents to get and build up to being a 10, 12 round fighter. And it's the heavyweight division. It's not an easy division. There's big guys and guys that can crack, and in this sport, any one punch can determine the outcome of the fight. You know what I mean? At any point during the fight. So it's the key to boxing is to hit and not be hit. And that's why it takes skill, and that's why it's called the sweet science. And
Go ahead.
So my first loss was to a fighter, tough guy. He was 13-1 at the time. His name was Mark Oaktree Brown. I went into that fight not 100%. I was very ill, not even really knowing it. But after the third round in the fight, and I was winning every round. He was a dirty fighter too. But after the third round, I went back to the corner. I sat down. I said, "There's something wrong with me. Something's not right." And I continued to fight all the way to the last round. It was an 8 round fight, and in the last round, I think he caught me with a decent shot. I took a knee. I took the 8 count. I got up, and then we started the fight again. And the ref, I think the ref could just see in me that I was pretty much ready to pass out, and I wasn't hurt at all. The ref jumped in and stopped the fight. And right when he did that, I went to my corner and I said, I need to go to the hospital. And so something wasn't right. And I went. They put me in the ambulance, and they said, "Wow." They go, "Do you have diabetes?" And I said, "No, not that I know of." And they said, "Well, your blood sugar is through the roof. You're lucky you're not in a coma right now." So you can imagine how scary that is to be in that situation. The EMTs are telling me that I'm lucky I'm not in a coma due to my blood sugar being so high. I said, well, I don't know what's wrong with me. So we went to the hospital. They did a bunch of tests, and come to find out, I had a virus that was attacking my body, and it spiked my sugar levels, and my liver was inflamed. I was dehydrated. So there was a lot of things that was going on with me there. So after I didn't have my strength for about a couple months after that happened, and I knew I needed to get right back in there and fight some tough guys. So I took a quick 6 round fight and with a guy that pretty much had never been stopped, and I took that fight and I went to 6 rounds, got the decision, and then I said, I need to really make a statement here, and that's when I took the fight with Travis Kaufman on Showbox
That was a
or
great fight.
Showtime.
That was a great fight.
That was a great fight, and I knew he was in the amateurs. We were both national champions. He was a super heavyweight division. I was a 201 heavyweight division, so we never competed against each other. But I knew of him. He knew of me, and I knew that was the fight that I needed to have to throw me back in the mix.
Right.
So we took that fight in his backyard with his promoter promoting it. So I was a definite underdog in that fight, and we went there knowing that we were going to take the victory and walk home with the win. So, and that's what happened, and that put me back in the
The mix.
rankings and in the mix, and that was a great win for me. And then my next loss uh, was to Nikolai Furtha, who's just a big guy, 6'6", and all of 260 pounds. Um,
Who gave
so,
Tyson Fury a lot of problems as well.
yeah, you know what? And I thought that was a premature stoppage for him. I thought the ref kind of favored because he had Tyson Fury hurt a couple times, and then the ref, as soon as Tyson Fury hit him, the ref pretty much just jumped in and stopped it, from what I remember, if I remember correctly. And so I obviously Tyson Fury is very protected over when he fights where he's from, you know. Um, but he kind of got a taste of his own medicine because in the fight with me, uh, he kind of bum rushed me in the first round, knocked me into the ropes, and I took a knee because I was knocked off balance. It wasn't really from a punch, but once he knocked me into the ropes and I took a knee, he punched me 3 times in the side of the head while I was on the ground. My knee was on the ground. So, and before every fight, the ref tells you if you knock the fighter down, if you hit him while he's down, you'll get disqualified. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So I thought he should have been disqualified, but it was what it was. The ref didn't even take a point from him. And clear as day, there is a film of it somewhere. He whacked me. He hit me once, knocked me into the ropes. I took the knee, he hit me 2 hooks right in the side of the head. So then I got up, the bell rang. I go back to my corner, and at that point, my game plan was out the window. I was dazed. I was a little out of it. I went back into the second round, and he's a big guy, and I made the mistake of standing toe to toe with him and trading punches. And I traded punches with a big guy, which you never do in this division. And he cracked me good. I took a knee, I took another knee, got up, we went at it again, and I hit him with a three. He caught me with a jab, I think, and then I hit him with a three punch combination. And as I threw my three punch combination and connected with every shot, the ref had, I guess, already made the decision to jump in and stop the fight. The ref stopped the fight. I thought was premature because had just hit him three times and I was fighting back and I was on my feet. But I come to find out after the fight, and this was at Mohegan Sun in Connecticut. The first fight of the night, a fighter had gotten knocked out unconscious and had to get taken out on a stretcher and was taken in the ambulance, and they only had one ambulance there. So they was taken, and all the refs were told to be very cautious. If someone looks hurt or anything, stop the fight. We can't,
Can't afford to
the
know.
risk of anybody getting hurt because the ambulance isn't here, and they were being very cautious. So I thought it was a bad stoppage, but I take nothing away from him. Just he fought a better fight that night, and the ref stopped it. I thought prematurely. So that was my second loss, and then like I said, I had to get back in the mix again. So it took in. I fought. I had a rematch with
Brown.
Coach Brown.
Yes.
I beat him unanimous decision. I beat the crap out of him for 10 rounds. So I avenged that loss.
Did you enjoy that?
Yes, I did. Because I honestly won every round in the first fight and then just got stopped in the last round from exhaustion and from almost passing out. So I really needed to avenge that, and I did. And I wanted to avenge the loss with Nikolai Furta, and maybe I'll still have that opportunity. But after he beat me, he got, he had opportunities for himself to go over. I think he fought Povetkin. He got a fight with Povetkin. He got some decent fights after the win against me.
Yes.
Which I believe he should have, and I congratulate him with that. But I'm in the position now where I have to win Saturday night to just keep my ranking. I came back from those losses. I beat Brian Minto, knocked him out in the third round, which was a great win for me. And he's a very tough guy. And then Jonathan Banks, I was in line to fight for the NABF title. There's a fight with Minto was a title eliminator. And Banks decided to vacate the title so he could take a bigger payday against Seth Mitchell. Which, and money talks, you go where the money is. This is a business. So I don't blame him for that. And he's in a good position now. Obviously, he's got the rematch with Mitchell in June. So we had the fight for the vacant title. And we got the fight with DeVar Williamson, who was a contender, has a great right hand.
Touch of sleep.
Touch of sleep.
I see. I do know some of my fighters.
He went 12 rounds with Chris Bird. He fought some real good fighters. He beat a lot of guys. He beat Minto, knocked him out. He's knocked out quite a few guys, tough guys. So we knew he was a big puncher, big right hand. And we went in there and went to work. And I took him out in the fourth round.
There's a few questions I definitely want to ask you. Now, going in as an unbeaten fighter, knocking everybody over, how much, honestly, did Tony Grano learn from those experiences? Going through ranks, knocking guys over?
Well, I've always known I can crack and I have a heavy hand, and that's something you're born with. You can't teach somebody how to hit harder. You can either hit hard or you don't. You can either knock people out or you can't. There's a lot of fighters out there that come out of the national or come out of the amateurs, and they have that amateur style where it's pity pat punching. Perfect example. Jason Estrada, very talented, good fighter, but can't crack an egg. Has an amateur style where he throws quick, fast punches, but he can't really hurt anybody.
Right.
And in the heavyweight division, when you hit somebody, you need to hurt them, and you have to be a sharp puncher. You have to place your punches, pick your shots, and that's what's gonna, you know, help to win the fight.
Right. I mean, so I want to ask your opinion on the people around you in your division, because it's always interesting to hear uh, fighters that are in the top 10 what they think of what's going on. First of all, I've got to ask you, Tyson Fury, Steve Cunningham. Tyson Fury was rumored to gonna possibly fight between. It was a fight between either Cunningham or yourself. That was what the rumors were. It so happened he took Cunningham. Tell us
You
more
know,
about that.
I would have definitely taken the fight if I was offered the fight at Madison Square Garden, in New York City. I would have definitely taken that fight. Um, but we weren't offered that fight. We were offered. I think we had like a 3 week notice. They called us up. They offered us. You know, I'm not gonna say what they offered us, but
Right.
they offered us to fight for a decent amount of money. But it was a last minute thing. We would have to fly out there to wherever it was, Switzerland or whatever. Where's he from?
He's from England. He's from Irish descent, but he's English. He's from the UK.
I forgot where they wanted. It was somewhere out there. They wanted us to fly out and fight him, and it wasn't enough notice, and there wasn't enough money, and so we had to pass on that opportunity. Plus, I was in the middle of moving. I had just recently moved to Florida.
Right.
That's where I train and stuff. I have a trainer out there. I'm in
So who's your trainer out in Florida?
Ron Berlingo.
Okay.
He's from New York, White Plains area,
Right.
but he also has a place in Florida.
Okay.
And I have my other trainer is Derek Whitley, who has
Okay.
over 50 professional fights.
Right.
He's a tough guy, and I've been with him for since I was an amateur.
Right.
But Ron Berlingo is probably one of the best trainers out there.
Okay.
He studies tape, he knows what he's doing,
What
and he
makes a
gets
good What makes a good trainer for you? Would you say, Tom?
well.
Tell me.
It's all the relationship and how if you're able to learn from somebody,
Mm.
and he gets me how he explains things and how he tells me to do things. I'm able to incorporate and do. I'm able to uh,
Respond.
respond to it and act on it, and it makes me a better fighter. And what I like about him is he's very dedicated to coaching, and he studies tape. He films me in all my sparring sessions. He goes back. He'll watch them for hours. He'll put them in slow motion. He'll see what you're doing right, what you're doing wrong. He'll count all the punches. He'll count the opponent's punches, your sparring partner's punches. So he really goes through the film, and then he'll go over it with me. And I'm more of a visual learner anyway. I'm a hands-on kind of guy. I'm a visual learner, so we pair up and we make a very good team.
Great. So, I mean, I've watched a lot of boxing quite recently and studied more, focused more on what the trainers say in the corner. Now, there was a fight quite recently. Bernard Hopkins fought Trevor's Cloud, and the
Yep,
trainer of Trevor's Cloud is supposedly one of the best trainers in the world. Now, this isn't having to dig at the trainer, but if you've got a 48-year-old man in the ring and you're a young world champion, fresh, you know, and you've got something about yourself, and the trainer's in the corner, he's telling you, just touch him, just touch him, just touch him. And I'm thinking to myself, hold on a second, just touch him. This is a 40-year-old man. You need to be going out there and really putting it on him for 12 rounds. So a trainer is so important, or a trainer is so important, not just so much to be a cheerleader in the corner, but to mentor you in tough moments in a fight.
absolutely.
To be able to bring up that game plan. And a lot of trainers today just seem to be able to jump in a corner and scream and shout at their fighter, but not really give them instructions to do, what to do in each round. Let's move to right side, or let's move to left side of this guy. Let's double up that jab. Let's feint. Let's make some openings. don't hear a lot of that stuff. You hear a lot of this, just go out there and crack him. You don't hear a lot of technical stuff being said in the corners anymore. You know, I remember the times when Tyson used to fight, and they used to call out the combination with numbers 3-2-5-1, and Tyson would be able to throw those punches and stuff like that. It's just amazing. You don't hear that stuff in the corner anymore. Why do you think that is?
Trainers aren't what they used to be. That's why there's few great champions out there. Like obviously Mayweather and his uncle, they make a great combination. They know each other in and out, and they're able to communicate what he wants them to do.
Mm,
And you know, you're either talented or you either have a natural talent for this sport, and you have the reflexes to hit and not be hit.
mm,
I mean, anybody can go in there and throw a punch, and anybody can get hit.
mm.
Uh, that doesn't that makes for an exciting fight maybe, but that doesn't always make for the best fighters.
Right.
Um, you really got to be technical, and uh, you know, I read on Twitter all the time. Obviously there's Eddie Chambers who's out there who's a lot of people don't want to fight. I'm sure you see him on Twitter all the time. Uh, you know, he loves to tweet all his. He whines a little bit too much, I think. But a lot of people do dodge him, and because he's very crafty and he's very technical. And that's scary for a big guy that just knows how to go in there and club people to death and try to knock them out. You know, uh, but I don't want to talk too much about other fighters like
I understand. All right.
trash. But you know, the trainers, you know, it makes a huge difference to trainers. When I was in the amateurs,
Mm,
I was in Lake Placid, up in Lake Placid at
yes.
the Olympic Training Center
Right.
for a regional tournament to
Okay.
go to the U.S. Nationals.
Right.
That had to win this tournament, and I was fighting a guy, and I think it was after the second round, he hit me with some body shots, and I almost bit through my mouthpiece. I mean, the guy could crack. And I went back to the corner. I said, and I had my dad in the corner and then my other amateur trainer at the time. I said, he's hurting me to the body, and you get at that point, you're feeling the pain and you hardly breathe. You're getting the wind knocked out of you. And my father at the time told me, he said, "This is where we separate the men from the boys. I don't give a shit. You bite down on your mouthpiece, you get out there and you fucking fight." And I went out there in the next round and I knocked him out.
Wow.
It makes a difference. You got to have that somebody to help give you that boost, that confidence, and tell you, you go out there. This is what you train for. This is your job. This is what you do. You don't give up on this stool. You don't quit. You go out there and you fight. And if he knocks you out, he knocks you out. But you're gonna go out there and you're gonna fight until you can't move. You know what I mean? And that's how I go into my fights. I go into my fights, you know,
With
they're gonna
determination.
have to take me on in a fucking stretcher because I ain't gonna quit. I ain't gonna give up. I ain't gonna lay down for nobody.
This weekend, Arreola and Stavern are fighting. Your thoughts?
It should be an exciting fight. Arreola, again, one of those big, strong guys that just thinks he can walk through everybody and doesn't really. Like an Eddie Chambers would tear him up, probably, or the Adamak just
Yes.
boxed him, and so did Klitschko. Uh, but he goes in there, he has his hands up, and he just tries to walk through these guys and club them to death and knock them out. And he's been very successful with that. He's a big guy, and he can punch. And so a lot of fighters don't. There's not too many fighters out there that can fight like me or Eddie Chambers or Klitschko that can move around and hit and not be hit. And but Bermain Severn, another big puncher, big guy. But I think he's might be a little too inactive. He's not very busy,
Right.
but he's explosive. And if he catches Areola, he can knock him out. Anybody in this division can be knocked out.
Yes.
Especially these big punchers. And it's going to be very exciting to see what happens. But Bermain needs to throw his hands. He needs to let his hands go. If he doesn't, he's going to get he's going to either get knocked out or I don't see the fight going 12 rounds. But if it does go 12 rounds, guarantee
Arreola. Yeah,
Arreola will win.
it's in his backyard.
Absolutely. Well, it doesn't matter. He's just going to be more busy. He's going to press the action.
Yep.
He's going to go in there. He's going to walk into him. And Stavern, if he lets his hands go, he might be able to get some punches through and hurt Arreola. If I was a betting man, I don't see the fight going more than if Arreola does what he does in most of his fights. I don't see it going more than 7 rounds.
And you're going towards Arreola for this one?
I'm torn.
You're not sure.
I'm torn. There's the reasons why I like Arreola as a person. I've
Yes.
spoken with him a few times being here,
Yes.
and very nice guy, very outgoing. Stavern, very quiet, very to himself, not much personality. But he's in fight gear, he's in fight mode, so
Yeah.
I can understand that. And I just there's reasons why I would prefer for Bermain to win. Obviously,
Yeah.
uh, me being with Don, him being with Don, and if him winning, Vitaly retiring, maybe I could fight him for the vacant title.
There you go. See?
So there's a couple different ways things can unfold here, but we'll see.
Okay, another big heavyweight fight. Deontay Wilder is fighting Audley Harrison this weekend. Your thoughts?
Yeah, Ollie Harrison, he's a good amateur, a lot of talent. I guess I don't know too much of him. I haven't seen really any fights of him, but he's been stopped a few times and he's getting older.
Yes.
And Wilder, I've seen him fight. He's big. He can crack and southpaw, right? Yeah,
Yes.
he's a southpaw converted to a right-handed fighter. I think he
Okay.
converted. I'm not sure. I think he's conventional now. Um, I don't know. Wilder very much so could be exposed. His
Um,
Audley Harrison could expose Wilder by outboxing him, and like I said, they're both big guys. So
yes.
there's,
I mean, there are
there's,
question
a
marks at Wilder.
lot, there's a lot of exciting fights coming up.
There
In
are.
box,
And
there's
you're
a lot
around. You're in and around the mix. That's exciting thing as well.
everywhere. There's so many. We got Martinez and
Murray.
all these fights all over. There's and a lot are this Saturday.
Zab Judah and
Yeah,
Garcia. Your
yeah,
thoughts?
that's gonna be a great fight too. Who do you got in that fight?
I'm going with Garcia by knockout.
Yeah,
Garcia by knockout.
all right.
Walks Zab Judah down. Zab's good for the first 4 rounds. But at some point, that left hook's going to connect. I said the left hook would knock out Morales, and I'm sure that left hook's going to catch Zab Judah. And if it
Well,
hits Zab Judah, he'll go. I don't think Zab's got the greatest chin.
and obviously Mayweather and Guerrero. You got Mayweather.
Oh, I don't know. All things being Mayweather at his best, you go with Mayweather. But a year out, don't know what he's been up to in terms of, whether he's still the same fighter. Guerrero coming to put pressure on. He's a smart fighter, Guerrero. But he cuts easily. He gets hit very easily. And Floyd's got the best straight right hand in the business. And Guerrero will get hit with that right hand all the time.
Honestly, don't. I mean, I know Floyd and stuff. I've met him, and
Yep.
he's committed to his craft. He
He is.
he doesn't drink. He doesn't do. He trains, and
Yes.
he lives boxing. And I honestly don't see him taking his first loss to Guerrero. But like I said, anything can happen in boxing.
It can. Malinachi and Broner.
What's that?
Malinachi and Broner. Adrian Broner.
Not who else? Say the name again.
Paulie Malignaggi, the Magic
Oh,
Man.
Paulie.
Yes.
Paulie. Who's he
And
fighting again?
Adrian, not
Oh yeah, Brody.
Broner.
Oh,
Broner.
ooh, Paulie's my boy.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I can understand that.
he's a friend of mine. So I gotta go with Paulie, but it's gonna be a good fight.
It is.
What's the date on that?
They haven't set a date yet. It's all rumors, but I think it's a
Yeah, I've seen it on Twitter.
yes, it's a go. I think it's gonna happen. I think it's gonna happen.
Yeah, that's gonna be interesting.
There's too much money for Paulie to walk away from, to be honest, in that fight.
Yeah,
I
good for
think.
him. Good for him. Yeah, that kid, Brody. I just, huh?
Broner.
Broner.
Yes.
I just saw him fight for the first time. His
Okay.
last fight.
Against Gavin Reese.
Yeah, I believe that was his last. That was his the first time I ever seen him.
Okay. What did you think?
They compare him to Mayweather, don't they?
Yes, they are.
He's very flashy. He didn't even rap his own song. Talk about the ring rapping.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Tell him to stick to boxing. Holy shit.
No, you can
Oh
tell him.
God.
You can
And
tell him that.
Tyson Fury. And Tyson Fury too. After
Tyson
he's
Fury singing. Well, he was singing at the end, and
yeah, that
Tyson,
was horrible.
yeah, but Tyson Fury's a character. He's a character, you know.
Oh no no no. Don't do that. Save yourself the embarrassment. He's lucky he's already married. Shit. That
So
was horrible.
what did you think of the Cunningham fight?
I think Cunningham was fighting a good fight and until after he knocked him down. He knocked him down by staying on the outside and boxing and caught him with a good right hand. And then he started letting Tyson Fury. I haven't seen the whole entire fight. I've only seen the first few rounds and then the last two rounds. I
Okay,
missed some of the rounds in between.
right.
Um, but from what I was told and heard about it, he let Tyson Fury hang on him too much, tie him up, put his weight on him, tire him down. When you got a big guy like that, you can't let him hang on you because after three rounds, your legs are jello and you can't do what you need to do. So I'm definitely gonna have to watch that fight again.
Brian Jennings.
Very busy, very busy fighter, talented, just a natural athlete, obviously, and he's busy. He's in great shape. He comes to fight, and he's uh he's he's small. He's on the smaller side,
Hmm.
but the reason why he is where he is because he's so busy, you know. And he just and he's his accuracy is pretty damn good too.
He's
So
fighting a
he's
guy
able
called,
to hit these fighters. What's that?
Franklin.
Say the name again.
He's fighting a guy called Franklin.
Frankly,
Franklin. He's fighting a guy called Franklin. The guy, I think the guy's last name's Franklin. Kenneth Franklin or something like that. I think it is.
not Franklin Lawrence.
Franklin Lawrence. That's him. Franklin Lawrence.
Really,
Yeah, they're fighting. I think June 20th.
really.
Yes.
Franklin Lawrence, he's a tough guy. He's just like solid.
Yeah.
From what I've seen of him, I've seen him take apart Jason Estrada.
Right.
Took him apart, and um, I've seen that was the best I've seen him
Right.
when he fought Jason Estrada, and I've seen him a couple other little clips of him on YouTube, and I wasn't that impressed.
Right.
So it depends on what Franklin Lawrence comes to the fight, but I'm sure if he knows he's fighting Jennings, I would bet he's going to be training his ass off because that's going to be a big fight for him and
Absolutely.
his toughest yet for sure. But Jennings, he needs to do what he does, which is keep those hands moving and stay busy and dance around them because Frank Lawrence is gonna walk him down or try to walk him down.
Right. What's it going to take for you to become heavyweight champion of the world, Tony?
Well, like I said, can unfold a couple different ways here. You know, if Vitaly does retire, like he says he's gonna, or like it's rumored to, then we have to see what happens with Saturday night
Hmm.
with Bermain Stavern and Chris Arreola. And like I said, it would benefit me if Bermain was to win the fight. I think because if Vitaly does retire, the only reason Vitaly's is waiting to retire after this fight is because I believe he wants to put Jonathan Banks in a good position to fight for the vacant title. And if Jonathan Banks gets through Mitchell again in June,
Yes.
then he'll probably be ranked higher than me and maybe be able to get that fight against the winner of Severn Arreola if Vitaly retires for the vacant title. So that happens, you know, that's one way it can happen. Or even if he does win or whatever and Bermain wins and Vitaly retires, I would bet that Don King would try to get me the fight with Bermain because it's a win-win for him, you know. And so that's what I'm looking at right now. I mean, I'm not ranked in other divisions right now.
Right.
Um, so if not, I'm looking to fight either way after this fight. That's the best case scenario, you know, me getting the fight for a vacant title
Right.
after this fight. But that's very, slim pickings. That's not the odds of that happen are very slim.
Right.
But I'm looking to take out Molina in
Yes.
impressive
Style.
style, fashion. Get
Yes.
out there, take him out, and then I'm looking at somebody to get me that next level. Someone in the top five. Um, David Hay.
Are we going to mention him, the Haymaker? Where does he fit in all this?
Well, I would love a fight with either Jonathan Banks, who I was supposed to fight against for the
Okay.
NABF title. So I'd love a fight against him.
Yes.
Uh, Hay would be good, probably because it'd be good money there.
Yes.
This is a business, like I said. So
Absolutely. Business first.
whatever, whatever, whoever's going to put me in the best position and make me the most money. You know,
Manuel Shah, maybe?
Manuel Char, I was sparring partner for him for one of his fights over in Germany. So I know Manuel Char pretty well. I was there with him for 3 weeks sparring with him. Uh, Another guy, just big, strong guy. What thinks he can walk through everybody and club them to death. A good boxer will pick them apart.
I hear rumours that him and Hay may fight.
He's been trying to call Hay out for a long time now. And Hay doesn't want the fight because it's not going to benefit Hay. Hay's looking at somebody that's going to put him in the number one position or a title shot. Um, I'm looking at who's going to be the most money and give me the most recognition. So Adamak fight would be good, and there's been talk of that with me, my management, and his management.
Okay.
Me and Thomas Adamak, me and Jonathan Banks. I was told by Jonathan Banks's manager, Tom Loeffler, that if he wins against Mitchell, I can get that fight with him.
Wow.
And like I said, so Adamak, David Hay, Jonathan Banks, or
Malik Scott.
I don't know much about Malik Scott.
Okay, he just finished beating Glasgow. That was his last win. He was on
Yeah.
NBC.
Who's the other guy there? The big Russian. He's ranked like 4 in my
Pulev.
division.
Pulev.
No, not Pulev. The other guy in the WBC. He's a Russian. He knocked out I just had him. Hold on. I can't even say his name though, so
It's not
it's
Glasgow, because Glasgow just got had a draw against Malik Scott. Pulev.
uh
Becky.
Magamond.
Magamond. Yes, Mohammed Magamondov. He fought Jamil McLean. And
Right,
Jamil,
he just knocked out He knocked out Jamil in the second round.
Yes, but did you see what happened in the first round? Jamil knocked him down in the first round and had him
Yeah,
out on
with
his
a
feet.
straight right hand.
Yes.
I just watched that today, and I'm not hugely impressed by him. Not really at all. I mean, obviously his punching power, he's 17-0 with 17 knockouts, but who doesn't in this division at this level?
Stage. Yes.
Yeah, you know. So
Jimmy McLean showed how to beat him. And if I don't know why McLean kind of stepped off the gas on him.
Klein is he's old, man. He's old. That was a little tiny shot he took and he went down. And oh,
One other guy I should mention, David Price, Tony Thompson too. Your thoughts?
Price got Price got caught, right? Knocked out. He got caught with
Yes.
something. He could, anybody can get caught, so Price could make a comeback from that.
You think so?
Yeah, sure. I mean, same as Mitchell. He can make a comeback by beating Banks this time around.
Can he beat Banks, do you think?
You know what? I thought they were crazy to take the fight with Banks right after the loss. They were scheduled to fight, months ago. They were going to fight like right after his suspension was over. Like I thought that was his first fight back, just being knocked out. To take that fight was crazy, but then it was postponed, postponed, postponed. Didn't look like it was ever going to happen, and now it's happening. I think obviously he's had more than enough time to get his head clear and hopefully build up his confidence again. And he's a big guy. Banks, I think he has his number. I think if Banks goes in there and fights his fight, he can take him out again. Because I wanted that fight with Mitchell
Hmm.
before Banks got it. Because I knew Mitchell could be exposed. I knew it, and I knew it after he fought Witherspoon. That he could be exposed if you just have to know how to pressure these guys after you get them hurt. You can't just always try to you know
Rush him.
rush it. You got to pick your shots. You got to do what you did to get them hurt and continue to do that. Fight that same game plan. A lot of these guys they rush in, then they get caught with something big because a lot of these fighters when they're hurt they fight with desperation and they just throw shots. And if you walk into those, you know, you can get knocked out.
Tony Grano, thank you so much for talking to Bayloric TV. I really appreciate it.
No problem, man. I appreciate it. I don't know. You recorded this, so send me the link. I'd like to take a look at it.
Absolutely will do. Tony, oh, by the way, before I finish, your Twitter. Give a shout out to your Twitter.
Grano Boxing.
Grano Boxing.
Yeah,
Okay. Are you on Facebook at all or Instagram or anything
yeah.
like that?
Tony Grano on Facebook. My Twitter is my handle is Grano Boxing, and I did have a fake on there. I don't know if you heard about that. I had someone go on and impersonate me and go on under Tony Grano and start talking shit to all the
I've had it
every
happen to me as well. Yeah, I've had it done to me as well.
so, everybody. I'm Grano Boxing. Don't listen to the fakes.
Tony Grant, it was great talking to you.
Thank you.
I'll send you a link as soon as it's done. Take care.